Hello guys, this video I'm gonna explain the color painter. So if we open this panel, okay, we have here fill object with any color. If I press on any color I want and press here, it's gonna apply the color on the whole model. And I have also, if I don't want to control it from here, I have this undo and clear. If I press here, it's gonna remove any color on the mesh. And I have a slot control from here if I want to add a slot more. That's the maximum 16, yeah. And I can remove it also, like this. And if I have like basic color or favorite colors, I can select any color I want and I press save. It's gonna save the color. Even if I close the software, it's gonna be saved all the time. And you can remove it by pressing right click. Alright. And if you press on the slot like here, you want to change the color, this panel gonna appear like this. So basically when you open the software for the first time, it's gonna be like this. So you can grab it here, so you have more organized. And you can, change the color as you want. And you can name also the color if you want. And you have the classic picker. So as you can see, this one, because some people prefer this, you have also this, but you must apply or enable this, because if you disable it, it's gonna be appear this. And we have here the shading. Let's make it like this. Okay, this color. If we have shading controlling on material shading of the mesh, so that's the default. If I change this to 0, it's like no highlight at all. Maybe that's comfortable for some people. You have also the shadow depth. You can control or make it lighter or make it more lighter, as you can see. And you have the metallic. But metallic, you're gonna make the roughness more or less. And we can create this. So you have metallic stuff. But the default settings are actually good. So you can press here, reset, it's gonna go default. But you have full control on it. And first tool is the brush. Let's say I select the slot here and I'm gonna paint. Let's come here. So that's different from Orca or Bumbo or any slicer, because if we open the wireframe, it is actually painting the same geometry mesh or the faces of the model. Alright? But what slicers actually do, they are not making like this, because for them this this jagged edges is so bad for printing. But actually we solved this issue without needing to smooth the brush, but we added the feature to make the painting like slicers also. So if I remove this, I can select the brush and set the smooth from here. And if I paint, it's gonna paint so smooth as any slice. And actually that's more smooth and more control than Orca. So, right? But what actually matter is if you press here, okay? And if we open the wireframe, that's creating like subdivision triangles of them on the mesh faces, on the real mesh faces, as you can see, to be able to create this smooth edges. If we zoom out, you can see it from here. But that's not gonna increase the faces of the model, because this subdivision trace is metadata color, so it's saved as data, not the actual mesh. You got it? So that's a technical thing, but I wanted to tell you to more so you know more about it. Okay, so if we disable it and remove this, and also we have the bin curve. Wait, let me dive in more in the brush tool. We have the three stuff, the sphere one, and that's detecting, you know, the far parts. If we disable wireframe, make it smooth, that's detecting the far parts like this. So if we have this and press, that's not gonna make the same sphere as you want. And that's the difference between a sphere and circle. So if we choose circle and we press, it's gonna make the same circle of your brush, whatever, if it is different angle or anything. So as you can see, but in the direction or the camera view, that's actually the same as my brush, and that's different from sphere, as you can see, because sphere is detecting the 3D points on the model, so it doesn't react to the. So if you see it from this view, it is sphere, and because we use this circle, as you can see. But if we move direction, as you can see, it is more different, but not as a sphere. If you move in any direction, it's gonna be sphere. Okay. And we have the triangle. You can paint, you know, if you have like small triangles you want to paint and the circuit doesn't detect it, you can do this. And also you have in the circle, if you have a so small part, so let's say in the worded brush or the style, you can that's, you know, the smallest size of your brush, this. Okay, but you want to make it more smaller, you're gonna go to dynamic. Okay, and you can zoom in more. As you can see, the brush doesn't change as the size, but it detects more parts. So let's say I'm gonna bend this, I'm gonna press on this, okay, and I'm gonna zoom in. As you can see, that's, I didn't change anything, but that's the same size, but depending more on the zoom in and zoom out of your camera. So if I zoom more in like this and I bend circle, as you can see, that's so small. And that's actually so impressive because you can't find this on any software else. And we have here, yeah, we have mirror. That's actually so important. I'm gonna import like symmetry one. So this model is actually symmetry. So if we go to brush and we select mirror and we paint, it's gonna paint on both sides. So if you prefer to paint manual and don't want to use, you know, uh, other tools to make your workflow more faster, and you prefer to use the basic painting, you can just apply the mirror, but you have to make sure the model is symmetry, so the left side as right side, okay? And you can, you know, paint as you want. But this model is actually not symmetry because you can see the difference. It's a little bit different. And we have here, you have control on the shape of your brush. So as you can see, it's a circle, right? But I don't want it circle, so I can squeeze it like this. So you have control on it, and you can also change the direction, as you can see. And we have the pen curve. This tool, most people know it. You are drawing points on your model and you control the line between these points. So if we make point here and make another point here, another one here. So if I want to control the size of the curve and I want to make it small because that's actually big, so I have to disable this one, and this one using for points, if I want to make the point itself like small, I can control it from here, as you can see, or make it wide. And you can press Control on your keyboard, or you can press it from here. But I prefer the Control because it is more fast. All right. So let's remove this and draw another one. I'm gonna unenable this, and I'm gonna control the size like this. So if I bend something like wait, I'm gonna make around this, it's gonna be better if I control something like this. All right. And that's actually not perfect because it is so the width of it too much, so I'm gonna lower it. And as I can see, not also perfect, not on the same line of the mesh, so I'm gonna control it like this, and if I see it perfect, as you can see, I'm just gonna press Control. And so that's good for straight parts also, you can, you know. And the same feature in the brush tool. So if you have a straight parts or straight painting you want to do, you can press like this, and it's creating A point and Z point, and it connect what is between them. So I just pressed A point, and I'm gonna press again, but with shift. As you can see, it connected the first point and second. And I'm doing this while holding shift, so I have full control on straight lines. All right. And if you just draw a curve like this and you want to close it, you can press here. It's gonna close. And if you want to remove this curve, you can press here. That's it. And also that's working for the mirror. If your mesh is symmetry, you can print the curve on the left side, and the painting gonna affect the both sides. And we have a smart fill. Smart fill, that's we're gonna use like in everything basically. It's so important. So it detecting the parts more accurate than other slicers. So if we go, for example, for the eye, it's gonna create like preview for how the painting is gonna affect. And you don't want to go to the angle, and you don't want to change to see how the parts look. So you can press on shift, okay, and right click and drag left and right. As you can see, the angle is moving, so I can see the preview real time, and that's gonna be more useful. So let's come for the teeth, and I'm gonna press shift and right click. As you can see, it detecting more parts as I want. I can decrease it a little bit for this, and I'm gonna just press left click if I see this preview is perfect for what I need. As you can see, like this. The same for the shirt. So you have full control with shift and right click, and just press on the part you feel the preview is perfect for it. And also, if we go to teeth right here, and the detection doesn't affect good, because sometimes the mesh or the polygons of the mesh not perfect. So we can control the shrink from here, if you see in keyboard. it's gonna be less, or you can increase around it if there is like tiny parts up you want to detect, as you can see. So you have for control in it, but basically you have to make it reset, because if you change it from here or here, it's gonna affect the smart fills. So you have to make the default. Oh, the project is saving. So you have to make the default 0 all the time. So let's make it 0. And here we have same mirror. If you have symmetry and you want to select right and effect on the left, it's gonna enable also. And we have here the detection of the edge in smart fill. So let's say if you painted this part like this, right? And you want to fill inside, you go to smart fill and you increase it, but it doesn't detect the small parts because we have control on the edge. So if we unenable this to off, it's gonna affect the whole model and it won't detect any painting on the mesh. It's gonna act like there is no painting on the mesh. But if we make it low and disable this, it's gonna fill what is actually inside, as you can see. So the default settings for this is actually perfect. It is low, and this one, if you want to paint what is inside the edges, you're gonna just go and make this disabled and just press here. And also you have a bucket, so if you don't want to do this, you can just go to bucket, right? And you're just gonna fill what is inside. But it's actually a little bit heavy while you are using it. So I prefer to use smart fill. And that's actually everything in smart fill, but the most important thing in it is the shift and right click, as I told you. It detect as I want, and I have, you know, full control. Right? And we have here the height. If you have base or anything you want to paint and you don't want to do it manual, you just control the height of the painting and you're just gonna go apply, and that's it. And that's in every software, I guess, for any slicer. But it's useful if you have base and you don't want to paint around it manual. And we have here the gap fill, and that's so important. So let's say I'm gonna use smart fill for this, and I'm gonna just press shift and right click. That's base detection. If I increase it more, as you can see, detect more parts I don't want. So let's say I'm gonna decrease it a little bit with moving my mouse to the left or right, and the same down. And I'm gonna close the open edges of the model. As you can see, I close it from here, and I'm gonna close it from here. So the whole part is actually painted the same color, and there is no leaking of the white color with the whole mesh. So as you can see, this part is surrounding with the purple color, and the white inside is too much actually. But we can do a gap fill. The default for it is 20. You're just gonna go press here. And that's it. But sometimes the software actually, slicers have maximum 5, but we have up to, you know, 20. But I prefer to use it to 60 because some parts it's gonna ignore the small painting, and it's gonna make the huge painting parts covering the small parts. So if we have like stuff like this, all right, and that's actually a huge part to close, and that won't close in any software. So if I press here, because softwares of slicers actually 5 like this, it's gonna close these parts only. If I increase it more, As you can see, if I increase it more, as you can see, closed all of this. So that's actually useful because you want painting or closing this manual, you know. You're just gonna go here and set up and it's gonna close everything, okay? And you have here a wrap band that's like making a circle around the part you want to paint. It's gonna draw a circle. If you detect, you can control it from shift and right click. See, I'm controlling. And you can also shift and the wheel is gonna control on the opposite side. And you're just gonna press on left click and press control, as you can see. So that's like a tool you won't use too much, but it is there. So if you want to use it, go ahead. But I'm not using it like too much actually. And you have the brush here if you paint anything and you don't want to go to slicer, as I told you. You're just gonna press on the right button and the mouse, the second one, and you're gonna delete like this. And erase actually detecting the first slot automatic. So whatever painting it is, as you can see, it's gonna always detect the first slot. All right. So you don't worry about switching from slot this and this and this. You just, you know, painting as normal. And if you don't want this part, you just erase it. Okay. And now we have the most important thing ever. So, and that's solving our issue. As I told you first, the smooth one painting small metadata triangles, subdivisions. So if I paint right this, and I want to make the edge of this painting smooth and actually more smooth than this one. So I'm gonna go to smooth here and I'm gonna the default settings actually better, but if you want to make it more powerful, you can increase both of this, and that's the size of the brush, and you're just gonna move on this, as you can see. Yeah, I know that's actually insane, but here's the important thing. As you can see, there is a moving triangles happened when I did this, because this brush moving the actual, as you can see, if I decrease it a little bit, as you can see, it is moving the actual geometry. And if you don't want to paint like or make it like manual, and you don't want to move all over the painting, right? You're just gonna go, let me do one. So you can just go here and apply. It's gonna smooth all, but we can increase it to 3 like this, and press again and press again and again. As you can see, it is so smooth, and that's actually different from the actual brush, because if we painting the same with the smooth brush and we increase, you see the difference, because that's actually the real mesh, but it got smoothed, and that's actually creating a fake subdivision for the mesh to create a smooth edge. So I prefer to use this one because it's gonna be better in separating, and you know, when you are doing smart fill, that's gonna be more useful. So let me test it on this part. If I do this and close the gaps, and make sure you don't mix the painting with unsmooth, because if we paint with the smooth, and actually it is enabled, as you can see, and I go to smooth here, and I'm gonna try to smooth the edges of the smooth one, you know, it's gonna destroy the whole mesh. As you can see, it doesn't affect good at all. So don't use the smoothed brush with smoothed brush. So you gotta smooth with this. So if I'm gonna close this, so that's important thing, as I told you in last video. In a small part like this, if you press tab, put your mouse here and you press tab, you're gonna see the orbit focused on this. If I zoom, I can see everything inside, and the brush actually, yeah. And I go on another part and close it like this. And I'm gonna do a gap fill. All right. And as you can see, I have jagged edges here, and I don't want to repaint all of this. And I just want to click, and that's it. All right. So I'm gonna go to smooth, and as I told you, I'm gonna press here, but actually don't smooth it too much, so it doesn't move the polygons of the mesh too much, and it's gonna destroy the mesh and creating self intersections and other issues here. So I prefer to press 2 or 3. That's actually maximum for me. If I breathe once, and once maybe it's gonna be like enough. So if I breathe on 3, and strength is 0.24, 5 I guess, and press here. As you can see, it got smooth. So I feel like it needs more. So I'm gonna press again. It's actually made it more smooth. If I make undo to see how it was. See this part actually. And while I press and press again. So that's actually so useful. And you don't have to worry about, you know, if your hand not perfect in painting. And I know this issue. I'm painting a lot. So if you paint like this and all this part, you want to remake it and press again. So no, that actually solved your issue. As you can see, I just did a smart fill and close the open edges and did smooth after it, right? And this part is selection. Is selection this one's box. So if we do this, it's gonna detect anyone you want. And we have the lasso, and that's actually we are using too much while we are separating by color, because if you have like a head like this and you don't want to use smart fill to detect the whole head, you know, and separate, you can just, you know, press on lasso and do this, and that's it. You're just gonna improve the sections, but it's printing as you want. And if you don't want this jagged edges, you can press here and it's gonna create smooth ones, right? And we have here the auto painting section. That's actually so important. So it's not hard, and you must be careful with it. So if we make the default like this, maybe we can decrease it to 25, and we press auto painting. It detected 13 parts, got slots colors from what I bought up here. So if I press apply, it detected these parts. But actually, it's like forget some parts like the teeth and the eyes and the hair, and maybe small parts in the shoes also. So I'm gonna decrease the angle more, like 10, and I'm gonna press auto again. And if you see, it detected more parts, 37. Before, it was 13. So if I press apply, as you can see, it detected more parts in the shoes and the head and some in the hair. If I decrease it more, like 6, it's actually detected more, like 54. As you can see, it's got the nose and the hair and, you know, small parts in the shirt. So after you do auto painting, you're gonna just go to smart fill, you know, and see which color you want to change, like this, and you want to set like this and this, because the auto painting actually have the colors. You're just gonna put the colors you want in the right places, and that's it. But it doesn't work for all models, but it work for the models that have like clean geometry. As you can see the edge, but organic stuff, it's hard to detect the painting. And you can increase the parts if you have like a big mesh and it has like 100. You can increase the painting parts to, so let's say make it 150 as you want, but default is good for 64. And we have here the export. After you paint your mesh and you want to export, you're just gonna so if you have like selected part, specific one, you can select the mesh from here and you press export or open the slicer and it will export. And if you have too much painting STLs here, you can do all painted objects and you can do export, right? And if you don't want to export a 3MF, you can just go here or here. If you see, you have an export also 3MF and you have open in the slicer. The software Audja detects all the slicers you have on your PC. So if you have Orca, I have Bamboo, I have Prosa, I have Anycubic, Reality, you're just gonna press any slicer and it will export and open the file at the same time. So if we press the section, as you can see, this is my projects, it's gonna save the 3MF and automatic it gonna open the slicer you detected or you opened, and this is truth. Okay, if you're gonna just press so let's just make a quick painting to make a test, and I'm gonna press apply. So let's say this colors I want. I'm gonna open the slicer and I'm gonna open it in Orca and I'm gonna press open. As you can see, it opened the slicers. We're just gonna ignore this message and the same colors and you know everything, and actually the same name of plate, because the plate is acting like other slicers, so it take the same data of the plate and the orientation and everything. And you must change the profile here to your slicer or your printer. And one important thing, you just ignore this message because you won't use the profile set what came from Audja. So you're gonna just choose your, you know, your profile or reset, and it will be sliced with no issues. Because if we put the same profile here of Audja, it won't slice. So if we do this, I think it's gonna be no issues. Yeah, as you can see, slice it the model and everything. So the slicers you don't have to worry about at all, because the same system here is the same system in any 5 slicers I just put on the Audja. Okay, and yeah, that's it for color printer. And I'm gonna explain the, I guess I'm gonna explain the mold studio first, and I'm gonna go to this section because that's actually so great section. We have too much features in it. But we're gonna go to mold studio in the second video, and I'm gonna explain it more. It's actually useful for artists and people who want to make molding in different styles. Okay, so yeah, see you next video.